to NBA basketball. This is 2K Sports bringing it to you live. Friday Hoops Fest coming up next. It's the San Antonio Spurs going up against the Miami Heat. And that's it for us in the studio. To call all the action, let's go out to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K Sports crew. I'll see you again at halftime.
I'm not afraid. Still right. You can try and read my lyrics off of this paper before I land. You won't take a sting out these words before I say I'm gonna be what I said I would be. Without a doubt, undoubtedly. And all those who look down on me, I'm tearing down your balcony. No, it ain't the bus, I'm trying to ask you.
This is the NBA on 2K Sports. I'm Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and our sideline reporter Doris Burke. So glad you could join us on this wonderful Saturday night. Our starting lineups will look at the matchups here and who we'll see for our starting five for both teams. First, for San Antonio, Parker and Danny Green are your 1 and your 2. And in the middle, out of Brazil, taken with the 28th pick back in 2008, the 6'11" pivot man, Thiago Splitter. Then there's Kawhi Leonard, and it's Duncan in at the 4 slot. And for the Heat, Chalmers and D-Wade are the guards. And playing at the 5, the always versatile 6'11" star big man, able to score inside and out, Chris Bosh. And it's LeBron James, and it's Haslam in at the 4 spot.
You know, I thought San Antonio really was an outstanding team. Fun to watch, excellent at both ends of the floor. But one statistical thing that stood out was they defended at a high level without committing a lot of fouls. That takes discipline and smarts.
Clark, as you said about that Spurs team, just a team that does not foul very often, doesn't give away free points. And, Steve, they led the league in fewest fouls last season.
Well, that's part of Greg Popovich's mantra. I mean, don't give up anything easy. You can't guard a free throw, obviously. You can't guard a fast break. So important for the Spurs to avoid fouls and take care of the basketball and be efficient offensively, and that helps their D.
And so it's San Antonio with it. After the miss from Haslam. Splitter misses. And it's Wade penetrating. The kick out to Bosh. Some nice ball movement here by the Heat. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
You know, people look at Mario Chalmers and say he might not be your typical point guard. He's not a big-time penetrator or playmaker, but he's a good fit for the Heat with his active defense and spot-up shooting from long range. I think it's a hand-in-glove fit, actually.
That free throw, no good. And Chalmers, a 3-time All-American, NCAA champion his junior season at Kansas, received the Most Outstanding Player Award for that 2008 tournament.
Hit what was probably the biggest shot in Kansas history, the three-pointer that sent that game against Memphis into overtime that allowed the Jayhawks to go on and win that national attacking nature of his drives. He draws a lot of contact. And you look at his age, mid-30s. I mean, the Spurs want to keep him healthy, try to save him for the playoffs, so they try to limit his minutes and bring him off the bench.
And that one misses.
The Heat have magnificent talent, but even coming off an NBA title, they had never put their name into the conversation of the great team until last spring when they went on that amazing 27-game winning streak.
The Heat trail by 4. Here's Cole. LeBron kicks to Battier. Back to LeBron. Ginobili with the steal. Ginobili can't get that one to fall. Here's Battier. Can't get it to go. And so the first quarter is in the books. Spurs lead by 4. Stay with us as we get set to bring you the second quarter right after this. Ready for action are the Knicks. Hello, everyone. Get ready for NBA action live on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan, joined by my partners Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. A quick check now of the starting five for both teams. First, for Detroit, Jennings out there with Rodney Stuckey. And it's Andre Drummond at 6'11", 275 pounds, the big athletic presence out of the University of Connecticut inside at center. Then it's Smith, and it's Monroe in at the 4 slot. And looking at the Knicks, Belton is out there with Iman Shumpert. And in the middle, the 2012 Defensive Player of the Year, 7'1" rebounder, shot blocker, and leader Tyson Chandler. Then it's Anthony, and it's Bargnani in at the power forwards position.
You know, the Knicks got off to a fast start, but when you employ as many old bodies as they did last year, it's hard to sustain the level of play you need over the course of a full season. It's one reason they started to falter a bit late in the year.
And Clark, you said the Knicks did hit that lull last season right after the All-Star break into early March. But Steve, when the Vets saw the finish line in sight, they picked up their play and got back in it.
That's right. They won 13 games in a row late in the season, catapulting themselves back into the top tier of teams in the East, and let everyone know that they would not be exiting the playoffs early. That really was the start of that run.
Chandler with the ball. It's Anthony with the drive. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
And in the 2011-2012 season, Melo had a down year from behind the arc. Shot a career low, but he bounced back last year, guys. Definitely made him a more dynamic offensive threat, knocking down threes at a much better clip.
And he makes the first. And for Carmelo Anthony last season, by far a career high in three-pointers attempted.
Well, he's capable of making shots from out there for sure. This was really a big part of the strategy for the Knicks offense. They wanted to spread the floor with him at that power forward spot. And if he had a bigger player guarding him, he could either take him outside for those threes or use his quickness to go right around him.
Now here's Jennings. Feeds to Drummond.
Pulled that one out in the course of an actual game. You know, for a player with his explosiveness, that was ATM time. Cash money, the easy way.
That kind of defense is not going to cut it against him.
Cash money. I like that, Clark.
That's good.
And you can't leave him alone, especially from long range.
Now about 2 minutes gone here in the first quarter. Outside jumper. Smith against Anthony. No luck. Smith with some nice D. Welcome to 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr with Doris Burke on our sideline. And it's Marshall with the ball. Here's Navarro. The shot is off. And it's Unakaha taking it the other way. Simon, the pass to Vasquez. Callaway. Simon, defended by Lorbeck. Passes it to Simon. Outside Dragic. Just 4 to shoot. From about 16, they grab their own miss. Goes back up. Great D that time from Lorbeck. On defense, Unakaha. Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Yes, Barcelona's head coach and I were able to chat. He's certainly aware of the shot blocking talent on the other roster, but he doesn't want his guys to change their approach too much. He's said, listen, we've got to continue to score in the paint. We can't just live on the outside. I just told our guys, when you jump up, jump into their body to try to take their legs away. Kevin, we'll see if they can score inside.
Hey, Doris, thanks. Steve, Clark, how do you best throw a defense like this off balance to enable your scores to get comfortable?
I think the key is you need motion. You can't get too stagnant offensively where you're going one-on-one. Activate the offense with ball and player movement.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And then the other part of that, too, to me, Steve, is you got to be ready to take good shots whenever they come available.
The shot's good from Navarro.
I like the offensive awareness to exploit that lack of coverage on that play.
Galloway passes to Dragic. Hello and thanks for joining us, 2K Sports fans, for another exciting presentation of NBA basketball. With Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. Now a chance to check out our starting lineups. First, for the Pacers, George Hill at the 1, Paul George at the 2, and starting 7'2", one of the true giants in the game, another great big man out of Georgetown, Roy Hibbert. Then there's Danny Granger, and it's West in at the 4. And looking at the Bulls, D. Rose and Jimmy Butler at the back. And down low, the two-time NCAA champion at Florida, the 6'11" tornado of energy and effort. It's the big man, Joakim Noah. Then it's Dang, and it's Boozer in at the 4 slot. Noah, the pass to Rose. Butler kicks to Boozer. The Bulls keep it alive. Here's Rose. Hibbert with the block. Now, here is Hill. Gives him the lead pass. Hibbert dishes to West. Banked in off the glass.
You know, it's always nice to get the easy look inside for your first points of the game.
I agree. It settles a team down offensively, and you establish success in the post. That forces the defense to make some adjustments.
Rose passes to Butler. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Pacers will take it. Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
I was able to speak with Frank Vogel for a minute. He said a big key for them will be containing Carlos Boozer offensively, adding, he's a player who can spread the floor with his jump shot or take you down the block, and it's tough to match his strength inside. Defensively, they'll look to keep length in front of him and limit his offensive rebounding. Sounds like a good game plan, guys. We'll see how they do it.
Thanks, Doris.
You know, a lot has been said about the Pacers and their defense, but in addition to them being great with their positioning and skill, they're one of the toughest and most rugged teams to deal with, both mentally and physically. They really pride themselves on playing smash-mouth basketball and don't hesitate to get into your airspace and get in your face.
Kicks it out to Granger. And the 3 off target. The Bulls have gone 1 of 3 for the field to start this one so far. Dang, Granger covering. Wasted no time on that one. And Clark, back to what you said, the Pacers did get in a few games last year where tempers flared and players got in each other's faces. But, you know, Steve, you look back at all the great defensive teams in NBA history, and not a lot of them were a group of amicable guys.
It's true. I mean, this is a great defense, and sometimes you have to ruffle feathers and get in people's faces in terms of being tough and gritty defensively. And I think the Pacers understood that.
Rose with the ball. Here's Butler, outside Dang. Lets the 3 fly. The rebound by Paul George. Indiana's gone 0 of 2 from deep here. Here's Granger, finished off the break. Granger's got his first bucket of the night.
One of the